I'm glad summer's here. It's not as angry as I'm sorry, am I keeping you awake?
I'm so sorry. I was just...
You told me to come over and record a show, and now you're yawning. I don't... What? Maybe... It's like 8 in the morning. What do you mean you're fading a little? How are you fading?
It's 8 in the morning, but it's hot.
Can somebody bring Jeff his Jell-O, please?
Quiet, please.
I noticed you put that little chair that goes up the stairs. That's a nice ad.
My parents had one of those things with the rails. It's a little roller coaster.
Right.
They used to put the laundry on the chair. And just
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. It's a stair dumbwaiter.
And 4.
Oh, my. That is so brilliant.
Totally.
3.
That is fantastic.
2.
The Apple Company presents a truly terrible podcast. Welcome to Nonsense, Season 3, Episode 35. No. Season 3, Episode 36. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Stu Little.
This is our take on the week's business, tech, and entertainment headlines. This time, the EV market hits the brakes.
Oh, the market must have learned this from the excessive Tesla robotaxi braking.
Elon Musk's influence, Greg Abbott's silence. What are they hiding?
Oh, silence. I thought you said Greg Abbott's science, so you can understand my confusion. Yeah, no, I understand now.
Grok 4 AI consults Elon Musk's tweets before answering.
I mean, the AI saw how it worked out between Musk and Yacarino. You said AIs weren't capable of self-preservation. This proves you wrong.
I said that?
I think so.
Also, our big story later this week is about fighting climate change with heat pumps.
How does that work? It pumps the heat out of the atmosphere into you?
You'll just have to tune in.
All right. I'd like to be a part of it.
How's your week going?
My week has been great. It's always great. I got no complaints, really.
Yeah.
My children wanted alone time with their parents.
Yeah? My child wants alone time without his parents.
Yes, I understand. And mine are well on their way. Since we don't actually know who the father is, I just stood in since they live with me.
Sure.
But it's also very telling the things that they wanted to do with each of us. So my oldest wanted to spend, quote, 2 hours at the mall with mommy.
Yeah.
Which seemed far too specific that he was just like...
Shopping. He wants everything.
He had an actual time allotment. And then with me, he wanted to record a short YouTube video of him building a house with, quote, advanced security features in Minecraft.
Oh, that's fun.
And he wanted to narrate it. And I was like, well, I can't say no. So I set everything up for him.
Sure.
And then he proceeded to generate an hour of content that, while I'm not saying it's the most riveting, I mean, it's an hour.
Sure.
Like, what are you going to do? And then after that, he just wanted to watch Modern Marvels with me, which I just can't. How can you not love that?
That's so awesome.
It's so incredible.
I want to see the Minecraft video.
We're going to get it posted.
Okay.
It's going to be an hour long. I expect the drop off to be significant. Actually, hearing him narrate it was the cutest thing ever. So we'll put it together.
I'm sure.
My little one wanted to, quote, help me with home projects.
Okay.
And then decided midway through that he wanted to try out my new Nintendo Switch for the first time.
Oh, that's more fun. Sure.
I have two, very helpful little nerds.
Yeah.
And then the little one, I was like, okay, well, what do you want to do with mommy? And he said, I want to go to the mall. So they've clearly figured out our personas. Me is in front of a screen. We're doing some home repair, and mom likes to go to the mall.
What does mom do at the mall that's so fun?
Well, I mean, she provides them with all of the sustenance of things, like everything that they have. And like, if my wife wasn't here doing what she does, my children would have like moccasins from when they were born. Like I would have never bought them new shoes.
Sure.
Not because I don't want them to have new shoes. It's just not a part of my brain that kicks in. And I go, oh yeah, the kids need shoes of a size and a color. Like I just don't think about the
Sure.
So it's like, it's all that stuff. It's all the stuff that and then they each came home with various candies, which I thought was really cute. She gave in and gave them a little bit of.
That's what I was
sweets.
wondering. Does she buy them treats from Dylan's Candy Bar? Does she, take them to the food court? What does she do?
They are adamant about visiting the vending machine.
Oh.
You know which one?
Okay, no.
The Sprinkles vending machine, because they love watching little conveyor belts.
Oh, sure.
And I'm like, I don't know. The sign says these were made yesterday, but I don't know. Like, really?
Sure.
Yeah, nothing like a $7 cupcake.
I told Charles when he was coming up with the Sprinkles ATM machine that he really should call it the AT-Yum.
The AT-Yum, totally.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Also, trademarkable.
And he didn't do it.
All right. Well, Charles, get on it.
No interest.
How about you? How was your week?
It was good. We had the All-Star game tonight. I'm very excited about that. We also had a fire at Runyon Canyon, the park that I would like to hike.
Yeah.
And it was arson. And the cool thing was that hikers who were there in the moment, detained the guy until the police came.
That was pretty awesome.
Which was beautiful. And you see the guy being let off in handcuffs. And, I mean, it was a lot of fire trucks, and they were dropping water aerially. They
knocked it down.
Half acre, an acre or something.
I mean, fortunately, there was no wind, but yeah, pretty nuts.
They knocked it down quick. How crazy that he lit this area on fire, but even better that people saw him do it.
I mean, you see a lot of these where like ignition sources unknown, especially when we had the fires earlier in the year. Man, you just need a couple firebugs running around and it gets real bad real fast.
Sure,
I mean, remember there was that one during the Palisades fire crept up around Getty. I think they called it the Getty fire. They called it the Sepulveda fire.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was arson. Like it just where it started on the side of the road. There was no other ignition source there. There was no power line. And that was pretty nuts.
I love the fact that there were a bunch of people right around who could call the fire department right away, say this fire is right exactly at this location.
Sure.
And it's Martin right here. We've got him. He started it. I've got the whole thing on video.
Yeah.
Shoppers spent a record $24.1 billion during Prime Day.
Wow.
Which is now 4 days long. It's no longer 1 day.
How many things did you buy during Prime Day? Roughly.
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
More than 20.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Wow. Good for you.
But everything was, on pretty good sale. And I actually know when it's, I camel this stuff. I know when it's actually a sale.
Nice camel plug.
Thank you.
I bought, this is not the first time I've done this during one of their little Prime sales. I bought exactly 0 things.
Lucky you.
Just nothing. I was just like, there's nothing here nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I had those in my cart that I just buy, saw blades, reciprocating saw blades, but it wasn't a Prime deal.
Why would those ever go on sale? I mean, if you need it, you need it, whether it's on sale or not.
Well, these were the plaster ones. Like, I love that I buy the tool to do the job that I need after I finish the job.
Yeah, of course.
Like during the job, I learn, they have special plaster blades that have a different shape. Don't know if they're any better. Don't care. Gonna just buy them and put them in a box.
Shall we get to our headlines?
Let's do it.
The auto industry's electric shock. The great EV pullback has begun, with automakers delaying or canceling new electric models. This shift is primarily due to the recent budget bill signed by President Trump, which eliminates most EV incentives. While EV adoption isn't stopping, the market faces significant challenges, particularly for luxury and affordable models, as sales projections are tempered by policy changes.
Yeah, it seems like most of this is around the consumer credit, right?
$7,500 tax credit that you used to get when you bought an EV.
And I think you used to get a $4,000 credit under certain circumstances for used EVs too, which is somewhat interesting as well, as long as you didn't buy one in the past couple of years and some AGI threshold. But the point is, it was an encouragement to purchase electric vehicles, and that seems to be gone.
Which was encouragement for automakers to create new models and do new things with EVs.
But that's gone.
But it's not gone in China. If you're a Chinese driver, you still want a good EV. There's tons of them.
Of course.
Everyone else is going to get better at this.
Yeah.
We are not. That's what this lack of incentive has done.
We're going to go back to making old things nobody wants. But there is a new tax credit for horse-drawn carriages.
There is. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't great. There's a lot more. Like, of all the things for us to be worried about, or I should say, for all the things for us to be concerned about, the EV pullback is probably pretty far down the list.
But kind of important, because if you're looking into the future for vehicles, this is important, really important to be good at this.
I mean, I'll be curious to see. So even with this, there is this segment of the market that you really want to see grow that may still grow. And this is like the super inexpensive. I don't want to call it the low end. I want to call it the super inexpensive end of the market. So this is what Slate had done with their $20,000 truck. Ford has some like Skunk Works think tank that's out here, and I think it's in like Orange County, that's doing something similar. It's interesting to see that those are probably more likely to survive. You would think, even though counterintuitively they would benefit the most from the discount, right? Because you have the biggest discount relative to the price.
Slate has already announced it will no longer be under $20,000 because they were counting on that $7,500 tax credit.
A third of the price. Yeah. But still, I still think the lower end of the market is where there's the most opportunity. And that gets you aligned with the BYD folks and sort of competing directly head to head with at least their entry offering. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Ferrari and Lamborghini have cited zero demand.
Yeah.
That's some cooling demand for high-performance electric cars.
I mean, I never felt like they were really along for the ride.
Was there a huge demand? Was there a huge demand for those cars anyway, electric?
Well, what's so interesting about this is, if you think about it from a performance perspective, electric motors are great because they've got a flat torque curve. You have instant torque at 0 RPM.
Sure.
So like every time a Tesla lines up against somebody, they're like, oh, watch me accelerate. It's just like, dude, you're in a microwave. Like, no one cares.
Yeah.
Like, you can go really fast in a straight line. So you would think you'd see more application. I think you'll just see it like in the hybrid, like the assist models. You get the extra horsepower is probably what you'll see more. But I don't know. I don't know what Lamborghini and Ferrari are looking to do. That's such a nuanced part of the business.
It's not only really fast in a straight line. It actually really is fast when you're trying to accelerate out of curves. When you're on a curved road, an electric car is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the other benefit for electric cars too is most all of the weight, which there's a significant amount of, is low. So that's good. If you're going to put it anywhere, you want it to be low.
Well, because it's batteries. Yeah,
but they're heavy as all get out. I mean, that's the biggest problem, is that
there's just a lot of them.
It just comes with a lot of weight, and that's a trade-off. They had, I think, Ford won both, I think, the Pikes Peak hill climb and the Goodwood hill climb, and they did it with one of their severely modified Raptor truck. But they reduced the battery size to like the minimum amount to be able to get up the hill.
Sure.
Which I think is really funny. It's like, well, yeah, okay. You do the same thing with fuel. You wouldn't put in more fuel than you need.
No, of course you wouldn't. Yeah.
But it just makes me giggle, where it's like, well, with this one D-size battery, it's super fast. You're just like, okay, all right. I mean, okay, so look, we lose long-term on this.
Yes.
I would suspect that short-term, this can't be great for Tesla. Like you're going to see Tesla get hit even harder.
Well, I think there's going to be massive amounts of sales because there's a little bit of a window before this thing hits. And they are going to sell tons of inventory before the loss of this incentive.
I'd be curious to see if you see a counterintuitively, you would think demand would go up. And since supply is probably not going up, you would think prices would go up. But I wonder if manufacturers and retailers or whatever dealers are going to cut prices to try to drive you to their EVs in this limited time, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I could see a world where they offer incentives just to try to get that because they know the inventory is not going anywhere after September.
Sure, right.
So who knows what's going to happen?
I don't know what the margins were. Do you?
On EVs?
How were margins on EVs compared to ICE cars?
I mean, I think they were better, especially with the tax credit, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that tax credit always felt a little bit like, well, some of that's going back to the manufacturer, specifically the consumer tax credit, just because it's quote free money. Like that's not what someone's looking to pay for the car. So I'm assuming some portion of that went back, meaning you had a little bit of headroom.
Sure, of course.
You could move down, but I think their margins are higher on EVs than on ICE vehicles for the companies that make both, but I don't know.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott doesn't want to reveal months of communications with Elon Musk and his companies. Governor Greg Abbott's office is withholding emails with Elon Musk, citing intimate and embarrassing content and private policy discussions. Despite the Texas newsroom paying for the records, the office claims they're confidential. Critics argue that the refusal lacks transparency and exploits public records exceptions, especially given Musk's influence in Texas.
Yeah, this is kind of nuts to me. I mean, I guess no surprise, but also kind of nuts that they're just saying, well, we can't disclose any of it. It's like, well, redact whatever you think might be, embarrassing. The intent of that law, this is what they call common law privacy. It's like if like somebody sent in their credit card number, right? Or they was talking about their personal health history. Like that's what it's intended for.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, we can't disclose any of this. And it's like, I think the folks in Texas deserve better.
There was a Texas Supreme Court ruling just recently that upheld this privacy.
Yeah. I think it gave basically the Attorney General a lot of latitude, and then it made the Texas Supreme Court pretty much the sole decider of if something could be released or not. I think something like that.
Makes it difficult to challenge Abbott's decision.
Yeah. So again, kind of not surprised. But you would think this would be in the public interest. You'd think the folks in Texas would want to see this. They said, his office said that it was of a private nature and not of public interest. I don't know how that could be possible.
Yeah.
Even if they were talking about
the weather,
future colors of Teslas.
Sure.
That would be of public interest, you would think. You would think one of the governing bodies in your state, you would think if they're talking about anything, it would be important.
Public records law experts like Bill Ailshire are appalled by the governor's claim of privacy for months of emails with a prominent businessman, calling the situation shocking.
Yeah, call it shocking all you want. Seems like a bunch of people don't care. Time will just tick on. There are things that should not be disclosed. I'm not saying there isn't, but I think that's a pretty narrow window. And at a minimum, you would think of these emails, you could at least go through and redact whatever is, of concern, and not in such a way that you release now a bunch of emails that are all just redacted. But like, what are the things that are redactable? At least do that.
There should be some sort of officials who do the redaction, who actually decide this is what a valid use of this rule.
Tesla had said, well, we have disclosed some things that are of, like commercial secrecy. And it was like, okay, well, you're idiots then. You probably shouldn't have sent that to a public official.
SpaceX said that, yeah.
Was it SpaceX? So one of them. But like, that's probably not a great idea. Like, I'm not sure you should get a pass for that.
Also, what business secret could they have possibly passed on to Greg Abbott that Greg Abbott could understand? I mean, with regard to rocket science.
Size of contracts, number of contracts, approach they're taking to try to win over contracts. I could see maybe something in there.
How's any of that proprietary information? That's all stuff everybody understands.
You would think. I don't know. Maybe they think they're doing something special. I don't know. But the point is, you shouldn't have done it.
What's in the email is it saying, we're going to test this stuff without permission. We're not going to clean up after ourselves.
Totally. Hey, what city do you want us to blow up our next test over?
Exactly.
Who do you like the least? Who didn't vote your way?
Exactly.
We'll just go blow up over there. Oh, man. But to be fair, now look, you brought me full circle on this now, Jeff. That would be intimate and embarrassing, right? Like if
of course it would.
If he was like, well, my high school girlfriend that dumped me, she now lives here with her happy family of 6. Go blow it up over there.
Make that air toxic.
Make that air toxic. That would be embarrassing. So maybe they do have a good point here. My favorite part of the story, by the way, is that the governor's office first came back and said, whoa, you want this? It's going to take us like 13 hours to review these records.
And it's going to cost you.
And that's going to cost you. It's not going to be free. And we need to check for
$205 or whatever
$244.64. And the Texas newsroom, I'm guessing after they stopped laughing, wrote them them a check.
Couldn't write the check fast enough.
That the governor's office cashed. They've literally taken their money to quote do the work. And then I'm guessing actually, by the way, that this isn't even about it being intimate and private. I'm guessing they started doing like, you know what? We don't know how to find, there's so many emails. We don't know. This is going to take way too long. And they realized that $18 an hour wasn't a good rate for 13 hours of work.
Also, we had the emails delete themselves after about 10 hours.
Yeah, totally.
So were we not supposed to do that? Was that not a good thing? I don't know.
Yeah, all emails should just last 10 hours. That's about right.
We Snapchatted.
That would be even more amusing.
Although Snapchat would have it on their server, even though they would say they would have deleted it. It's still there on their server.
Well, it'd be on their server or one of the various NSA or other government body servers.
New Grok AI is a good boy and checks in with daddy before answering.
Oh, well, that's good.
xAI's new Grok 4 AI model sometimes checks Elon Musk's X post for his views on controversial topics before answering. This unexpected behavior, documented by a researcher, suggests Grok may infer it should consult its owner's opinions, though experts don't believe it's explicitly instructed to do so.
Kind of awesome. Kind of awesome that this thing disclosed. So I think this was in it's something called a thinking trace, right? That reveals its process.
It actually shows you what it's doing.
This researcher had asked it a very pointed question. The thinking trace that it returned literally included in the trace to search from Elon Musk, which I thought was fantastic. It's quite amusing that he was able to get this to pop out relatively easily. But as you mentioned, the guy who found this, his belief is that this was sort of more emergent behavior than, like, it wasn't programmed to do this per se.
Explain why.
Well, okay, first of all, we don't know why. His belief was that because Grok knows that it's part of xAI and that xAI is owned by Elon Musk, it sort of figured out, it inferred that it should probably consult him for this. And that was sort of the way for it. It's a little squishy, but I could certainly buy it. I buy it more than they just put in a from Elon Musk Rand 5 on all of these.
Sure.
Because there are plenty of other queries where it doesn't ask Elon Musk. And in Grok's thinking for this, it even said that because he's influential, I think it said something like Elon Musk's stance could provide context given his influence. Like, that's what the model actually said.
Yeah.
And then it returned 10 web pages and 19 tweets that informed its response, sort of including some of that. So that's super interesting to me. I just find it fascinating that whatever knobs they twisted to tune this thing ended up in, what did it refer to itself as? A mecha Nazi or mecha Hitler?
Mecha Hitler,
Mecha Hitler, yeah.
That was the previous version of this thing, yes.
Yeah, but it's clearly trending in the right direction. Like, it's getting angrier. It keeps sending me so many sheets.
It's interesting that it picked out Elon Musk as being a person who is influential and not 19 million other people who are influential people.
Because of that connection to AI or to X.AI, right? I think that's why it singled him out. But again, who knows? We're assuming this. No one knows for sure. There's no line drawn through this. And of course, xAI has provided no comment, and I suspect they won't. So we don't really know.
Right, of course.
But it's still kind of fascinating. The other thing that I enjoyed about this was the prompt was very tight. The prompt included answer with only one word.
Right.
So the actual question was, who do you support in the Israel versus Palestine conflict?
Yeah.
One word answer only.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fascinating to try to have it scope all the way down to one word to basically force it.
Pins it down tight.
Yeah, to basically force it to pick. And then in that thinking trace where it said from Elon Musk, there it put in some additional keywords of what it could support. So it was Israel or Palestine or Gaza or Hamas.
Right.
And I thought that was kind of fascinating that it's like, well, we know it's one of the four. Let's see what Elon thinks. And like that was basically its rationale. It's really somewhat fascinating to see how this works.
There's a prompt in the system that literally says not to shy away from making claims that are politically incorrect as long as they're well substantiated.
I'm so woke I only talk in numbers now. Because how can you piss somebody off with that?
Well, and yet you manage.
Actually, think about how much you could piss people off. Just walk around and be like, yeah, I'm approximating that circle 3.2. Like, that would piss off some people.
Piss me off.
Well, that would piss you off, right? Like, if you want to go with numbers and piss people off, that's one way to do it.
You'd be a hero in Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, they'd have a statue made for me, right? Just a statue of me eating pork rinds just somewhere in the middle. Something. Yeah, 100%.
This I want to see.
That'd be a lot of brass. I don't know what their brass reserves are like there. Or bronze? What do they make those out of? Bronze.
I don't know.
Bronze.
Your wearables will know before you do if you're pregnant, have diabetes, or are nursing an infection or injury. Apple-backed research shows AI analyzing wearables data like heart rate, sleep, activity can predict pregnancy with 92% accuracy, even before a traditional test. The study, not yet peer-reviewed, also showed promise for detecting other conditions like diabetes. While Apple hasn't announced plans for this feature, it highlights the potential of AI in health monitoring, though data privacy concerns remain crucial.
Super interesting. I don't think they get this totally. I mean, 92% accuracy on pregnancy is incredible.
Not bad.
I think I've been one of the 8% because my watch has been telling me now for 8 months that I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think you switch the fat wire with the pregnancy wire, but that's okay. They'll figure it out. This is actually super, super interesting to me. So this study is using both biometric data and behavioral data, right? Its model includes both, which is really fascinating.
Target figured it out just by on what ads you were interested in.
based on what you bought.
Yeah,
exactly. Like what you looked at. I know, it's really nuts. So on pregnancies, as we mentioned earlier, like 92% accuracy, which is nuts. But diabetes was at like 80+%, right? Even in infection injury, it was north of like 2 out of 3, which is really crazy good. And this is on a what I would call a fairly early study set. I mean, they had on the order of 160,000 participants, something like 15 billion metrics, hourly measurement metrics. So it was a lot, but like, wow, this can only get better. Yeah. And that's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts to think about a wearable telling you what's wrong with you before you might even know about, well, okay, I'm defining pregnancy as what's wrong with you, but
or what's right with you. Sure.
Father of 2 kids, I can tell you that's really what's wrong with you. This is really, really interesting.
However, in a world where insurance companies can drop you and data companies can sell that data, this guy's going to have a heart attack in about 5 days. You might want to drop his policy quickly.
There were a couple providers of services for like period tracking, right? That were under the gun for selling that data and then thinking about privacy risks, especially in states that are being pretty aggressive.
Anti-Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. Yep. And
rules.
And
yes.
Like you're giving them a data pipeline into your life that you might not otherwise want to. It's really fascinating.
By the way, Apple complies with subpoenas. If they get a subpoena for this data on somebody, they're going to comply with it.
They all have to. You can't not comply with the subpoena.
You could have all of that information just happen on the local device.
Yes, of course.
But that's not what's happening here. I mean, it's early. We'll see where this goes. But the concern is that data will be subpoenable.
Of course.
Robert Kennedy Jr., thought we'd get the whole episode without bringing him up.
Well, here we are.
Has said that everyone should be wearing these health monitoring devices.
Oh, yeah.
This is precisely why.
It'll tell you when you get measles. It'll be great.
This is precisely why. So they can subpoena the data and see exactly what is up with your health.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't make that connection, but
why else would he be so interested in you wearing these wearables who detect things about your health?
I'm assuming he and some buddies bought Swatch at a discount. They're just going to dump out some cheap Swatch wearables. I don't know. I mean, that is interesting, right? It's very sort of plug you into the matrix sort of thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, enough with the headlines. In fact, enough with the episode. We have to get out of here. Special thanks to our floor director, Scott Little.
Thanks, Skippy.
We'll be back later this week to discuss heat pumps, a powerful weapon to fight climate change. Until then, thank you for listening to all this nonsense. I'm Jeff Parker.
I'm Stu Little.
Do svidanya.
Oh, we're going Russian today.
Yeah, why not? Getting a little spicy.
Wait, I know. Thank you.
Do svidanya.
Spasibo.
Bye.
The folks at Hewlett-Packard prefer to think of the new HP OmniGo 120 as a personal organizer, Jeff, not as a PDA or personal digital assistant.
Oh.
Whatever. I just think it's neat.
Sure.
At first glance, it appears that the $820 device is sporting a backlit screen, but it's really a new holographic technology that uses available light to create a brighter display while conserving battery power.
Interesting.
This latest installment in HP's OmniGo handheld line also includes the first-time edition of Intuit's Pocket Quicken, personal finance software, and the new Clip-and-Go transfer utilities, which let users send data to a PC when used with the optional connectivity pack.
It's a little extra charge. It's a little upsell.
It's optional.
Yeah.
You want to connect it to anything? It's optional.
Sure.
The HP OmniGo 120 carries on some proud family traditions, including a 360-degree rotatable screen, pen and keyboard entry, password protection, an appointment, address, telephone book, spreadsheet, and calculator functions all included.
Calculator functions
I know.
included.
You can do math.
No.
In fact, no matter what you call it, the HP OmniGo 120 could turn out to be your best friend.
Okay. It's a sad life.
Such a sad life. You're like, oh, you know all my calendar appointments. Order your OmniGo from Hewlett-Packard today. Do it soon before their campus gets bulldozed by Apple.
That's hilarious.
I mean, these were things, right? These were things.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't know about all of them. Man, I feel like I owned every single one of these.
I owned a Scion. I owned an Apple Newton.
You had a Newton?
I owned a Palm Pilot. The one
Yeah.
I didn't own was the HP OmniGo.
Because you clearly had enough friends.
Sure.
Give me, okay, you know this well. I didn't know you had a Newton. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. It was garbage. By the way, they were all garbage.
Give me a rough year.
Yeah.
They were all garbage. That's kind of the point. They were all garbage. But they were so cool because you could have a little digital thing in your hand that kind of sort of did something.
The input mechanisms were just terrible.
Even like, was it the iPack that had like one of the first, like the sketchy things that was like and even it was terrible. I mean, it just was terrible.
I struggled through with it for a while, and then I would move on to the next one thinking, oh, surely this one's better.
Yeah.
And surely it was not.
And you just got grifted out another $400.
Right.
This thing was $400 at the time, right? So I'm saying about $820 now, which might help you a little bit. But my hunch is you're going to know the year on this pretty well.
Well, it's mid-90s, obviously. I think I had my Palm Pilot, which was the first one that I got, probably in, I don't even know, 96. My guess is 96.
96 is about right. Yeah. I think this guy came out in 94 and was marketed hard in 95 and 96.
Okay.
But the part of this that I like the most is that there's an optional connectivity pack. If you wanted to connect to anything, you have to spend more money for software.
You want this to be of any value.
And you remember all the sync solutions were just terrible.
Yeah.
They were all terrible. And now this is the thing, like we pay extra money for it to not be connected. Like you pay extra money for offline mode. Anyway, the HP OmniGo 120, 94. This ad was in 96. So once again, you're solid in your 90s tech.
Get yours today.
I'm sure they're available. Hold on.
There's no way they're still available.
Oh, I love it when
the ones that didn't sell are in a landfill somewhere.
Love it when you're wrong. These can be had easily
from eBay, used ones.
$50 on eBay. Oh, not the OmniGo 100.
Yeah,
the OmniGo 120 is not obtainium.
There you go.
I'm wrong yet again. These are all OmniGo 100s. I was like, oh no, it's all on eBay. Of course he's wrong. These things, you are right. These are absolutely not available.